Hey guys, it's been about a year. I got a bunch of shit done. Um, and I figure it's about time I show you guys some of it. So, I got my brake line lockers installed. I got the clutch all figured out for the most part. Gotta finish up the bleeding hose kind of section. Got my intake all situated. Got my windshield wiper fluid box system all set up. There goes the focus. With the hoses, I just pulled out of our little S10 pickup truck that's all pretty much a scrap truck. I built a mounting plate to protect my gearbox lines and stuff, and just the hoses, because it is jointed right there. Today I'm actually going to be working on my radiator temperature setup, the cooling setup thing. I installed some 7-inch deep headlights. Had to do some modifications, but it was super easy. I installed a gas tank. So now I actually got gas lines and stuff for the most part. Just need to finish up this one breather line thing on this side, and then I gotta finish up the main hose for the other side, the filling neck hose. But I figure start at the front and work the way back on what I got done. So first off, I think I'm gonna chop this bumper off. Sadly, I think I'm gonna chop it off. I'm not sure when, but I think that's gonna be the finished result. Is gonna not have this big ass bumper. I'm gonna keep my winch. I'm gonna keep the main bracket set up for the most part, because I have some nice, really thick mounting bolts or plates or whatever. But I'm just gonna cut it pretty much from right about here, and just cut all this shit off. Just leave this main winch setup, and then I'll probably go with pipes over. But that's probably a couple months ahead. So first thing I did, or one of the things I did, was I got some 7-inch Jeep halo lights for like a 2014 kind of thing. Here, I'll show you on the other side. You can see the back. It was really easy to install them. See, they have these little fins. But all I did was, if you look, here's my hand. Right here, you see that little silver thing? That's the plate that holds this light bulb. That little silver thing right here, right in there. That thing is what holds this and mounts this to this. And you just gotta cut the back, like, I cut like 2 inches off the back of it, and it allowed this this light bulb to fit into the actual grooves, where it has like 1, 2, and like a third little like notch in the actual light bulb, and those notches sit into the cup and lock in tight, like this. Is this stock mountain is not, it doesn't move. It has an easy 3-pin connector setup. Pretty flippin' easy. I have not checked the lights, so I do not know if they work, but they should work, just because my my wiring harness that goes to my dash is just not hooked up yet. I guess I have 60 amps of resistance. I think, is it 60 amps? Yeah, 60 amps of resistance. I think it's because I have some for when I start, because I have some janky little connecting wire pieces. But it's not too bad. I'm gonna sort through it, try to like cancel out those pieces and see if that's the reason why. Here's my intake system that I finished. You know, if you can sort of see in there, it has like the stock filter and shit. Yeah, nice new clean filter. But I made, you guys can actually see, I put some fucking little wire in it, put some bigger wire over it, put down some tappers with some washers, and boom, we're good. Might repaint that, like, ooh, I should probably pull this off and paint this back side, this back wire black, this front wire red. Ooh, that looks so good. my windshield wiper box. So I do not have it wired in yet. I don't know where that wire connector is. It's probably still on my buddy's Jeep. But I got the lines going up, going to the 2 different little squirter pieces. I put in a new brake master cylinder. And we'll go over there in a minute. Yeah, radiator overflow. Got my new ground wire set up for my battery, or for my engine block. So over here, so the reason there's a big ass R on the side is this is for my rear brake. And the reason why there's a big old F on this one is because it's for my front brake. These ones, this line is actually bigger than this one. So there's actually more flow in my rear brake line than in my front brake line, I think. More volume, whatever. Because like if you see in one of my other videos, I posted on how I canceled out the what's that? The proportioning valve, because like this truck used to have drum brakes, but now it has disc brakes. So I canceled out the proportioning valve, which I mean I just hauled that sucker out. I just took it apart and took out all the components that like switch back and forth and pretty much limit the pressure. I just took it out, drilled it out, and just put it all back together, so I had the same lines that go all the way back, so I didn't have to really mess with too much. I didn't have to really buy anything except for the lines that go from the metal line to the actual axle and shit. But anyways, so I'm thinking, because you want your rear brakes to kind of like be a little bit more better than your front brakes, just so you don't brake too hard with your fronts and you end up going into like a tailspin. Because and then you just when you brake harder with your front brakes, you or with your front brakes, it just causes the vehicle is, you know, it just stops in the front, and like it puts all the weight on your chassis, on your body, on like the rest of the vehicle is still going forward, but the front's stopping, but the back's still going forward, you know. So you want your back to kind of like stop a little bit first and kind of like pull the rest of your front and back with it, you know. And like just like if you're pulling like a trailer or something, and you're stopping with your front brakes more than your backs, then that trailer doesn't have or doesn't have electric brakes, or is just not set up so like it's not adjusted so it's activating soon enough. It's putting a lot more pressure on your chassis and causing it to crinkle up, which I'm not too worried about this chassis. Even though it is C-channel most of the way, it just has it has a lot of reinforcement. I'm going to be putting some fat skid plates on it and shit too, so this is going to be fucking solid. I've been looking in, and Bleepin' Jeep does like this thing where they swoop out like a Ranger's or I think it was like a Cherokee's steering shaft thing, because this one has a little bit of play. I mean, this one I'm not sure. I think it has a little bit of play. My steering is always a little loose. But they're saying one of these because of those like little rubber things are what gives you a little bit of play. So anyways, let's go to this bracket. So I made this little bracket to protect my gearbox, because you know I weigh like 200 pounds. My buddy weighs like, I don't know, 250. Like, you know, big dudes are crawling in this engine bay, right? And one of the best places to put your foot is right fucking here on the frame. But since I put these new hydro lines on, it has not been like the safest. Like, I've always been like hella sketch because I did not want to step on these, because these lines are, if I fuck them, then I fuck them, you know? And it's a lot of work to redo that shit. There's a bit of work, not too much. But over there it's all open for you to step in. All here's, now I got this nice little stepping plate that I can rest my foot on while I'm working on there, especially if you're going like all the way back to the distributor. But yeah, I have not tried these brake lines, just because it's not, or I haven't tried the lines. I have not wired them all the way up yet. They're mostly wired in, but they're not all the way wired in. Because, well, I want to make sure my brakes are perfect before I start playing with those, and I want to make sure my wiring's perfect before I start playing with those, you know. But so let's work our way back. So these will be the 2 switches for my this would be for my front brake and my rear brake. And flip on off, start. This truck is wired to start, and it actually does run right now. I should have showed you guys a video because it's pretty cool. But right now it's not, because I don't have I just wired, or I just like put some hoses in, so I have like the proper setup for my my fuel like return line. Yeah, my fuel return line. So I only had one originally. I only had one fuel return line that goes back to one tank, and I had dual tank set up, but that's not proper. So I ended up setting up like a second fuel line up in here. Yeah, see right there. Oh, those are my shift cables right over there. We can get over there in a second. I just need to put on a fucking shirt before I crawl underneath. Oh, but here's my dash. So this is a digital cluster right up in here. I'm sorry for the glare. There we go. Digital cluster. I just repainted my dash. I have a nice shiny metal under dash. I just stripped off the original covering, and I just put a nice gloss coat over it, and I kind of like it. It looks pretty metal. I'm gonna end up putting a new steering column. I'm gonna put like a chrome tilt steering column, because this thing doesn't tilt, and it's just right up in your fucking lap when you have the seat in. And put a nice steering wheel on it with like clip off, like racing style, because that's cool, and I really want one. My overdrive unit. I just need to get a different shifter, just because the shifter's been hitting the dash a little bit. Got my master here. It's a little messy in here. Got my brake master disconnect, or my master battery disconnect, or whatever, all set up. Just finished putting my seatbelts in. Very important. Yeah, 3-point harness. Dope. I was really happy with how this fuel gauge thing, the fuel cap sits right there. Going to my new tank. Got my driveline installed, the spiral. Got a pinion guard, and I did 13 bolt on this truck. So I cut off the 14th bolt at the very bottom, to give it a little bit more clearance underneath. You see how it's like super flat right there? Ooh, yeah. Yeah, you can check my other videos, see what those shifters are. Let me throw on a shirt and we'll roll underneath this vehicle. One sec. Alright. So, this exhaust system was originally for passenger side routing, but I did a lot of cutting, a lot of splicing, pretty much, right there, and then the other gas is right up there, and I did another splice up top too, and just to get these cats in, so I can drive it to the exhaust shop and have them do a proper job. But it'll give me my O2 sensors, make everything shift right. I do have I am leaking tranny fluid and a little bit of T-case. This is my T-case. This is my transfer case. It's my transfer case. I'm leaking a little bit, mostly my transmission, but it's not too bad. It just sucks because I just put this in here and realized my seals weren't the best. But I think it was because this bolt over here, these were loose, and it was sitting a little low. It was sitting like 2 inches over here, and it could have put like rotational pressure. causing the seals to like slightly move, but I don't know. I hope it was just like a bad seal job and I didn't fuck anything up, but we'll see. But this is what I'm talking about, my fuel line. So this is my fuel line, and this is my fuel return line. Right now, this is the out port, so this is the suction side, and then this side loops all the way over to this gas tank, and this side goes right up in here to this gas tank. This is the gas tank right here. And this is why I can't start up the truck right now, because my return line goes right to here, and it goes to this, and this goes into here. But this open port is the open side, so I have no power running to these. And because I have no power running to these, this one wants to go to this open port. But I didn't put this one over here because I'm gonna get new fuel lines like in a couple days. It's just gonna bring it over to there, so I don't really need to. Spiral ass drive line, hell yeah. Oh, these are my 35s. Mud hogs, I think. I think they're pretty much like a knock. They're like, yeah, Yada's mud hogs or whatever. They're pretty much just like a knockoff of the open country MTRs or whatever those are called. I want to do better shocks in the rear. I need to get shocks in the front. Shackles are good. You can see right there. That's my bleeder line for my clutch. And it's because my clutch bleeder is leaking a little bit. And so that's what I'm gonna fix today. That and do my my coolant system, my temp systems kind of thing. But I need to get that off there because that's no bueno. It's no good. These are the lines, these are the electrical lines, and then these are the cable lines that go into my cab for my battery disconnect and my twin sticks. JB Fab twin stick setup. But these are the beefy ass cross members I'm talking about. This is a solid fat channel right there. And there's a nerd channel right here. This is stock. The dude I bought it from put this in, and then I put the body lift. Otherwise, that thing was just sitting right there, so this bed could just take so much fucking weight. This guy used to like talk about driving in the sand dunes. But yeah, come together slowly but surely. The main tricky part is doing a good job and not a rush job, because I just want to get it done, you know. Just trying to get it done and ready to, like, up and on the road, on the trails. Hell, I'm gonna hit the Rubicon with this truck. Passenger seat, Jeep seat. Passenger seat belt, 3 points, all good. Glove box, shiny metal dash. Yeah, I'm proud of her. Just taking me too fucking long to do. And then here's the. See, I just need to hook up this shit. This shit's not even hooked up. But I'm waiting for parts on Monday. So parts will be here Monday. I'll get that shit done. I mounted up the tire carrier, swing weight tire. But I'm not too happy with it. Just cause it just looks so shitty. It looks very janky. Yeah. It looks very, very janky. So I think I'm just gonna cut the whole bumper off. I'm gonna put a nice tube bumper on it, and then I'm gonna weld that lower beam to the tube bumper. So I'm gonna keep this swing way, so I don't have to buy new shit too much. But I'm just gonna redo that work, and I'm probably just gonna use that plate as the bumper mounts. Mount it to my frame. I think I'll just keep it a lot more tucked, give me a lot more ground clearance, because this bumper is just kind of ugly. I want to keep it because it's easy to build off of, and it's super tough, but it's ugly, and it just lowers my ground clearance by a bunch. I'm already like, and this thing is gonna sag, like this whole thing flexes. Like when you lean on it, it flexes. And that's just not good. That's just not good. So yeah, that's the progress I made so far. When everything's actually done, I'll probably do better videos of like the lights actually working, the brake system actually working. I'll do some like driving videos and shit, you know, just cause, you know, show y'all what I'm doing. But yeah, I like it. Get some like 37s or like some, I really want 40s, but just gotta find the right price, you know. I'm trying to do this on the cheaper side. Yeah, it's my baby, one of them. That's the seat I'm gonna be putting, that little racing seat I'm gonna be putting in here. But yeah, O2 sensors all hooked up, shocks, yep. All right, well, till next time, guys.